I am Original L, and I'm showing how I grow my wealth through the stock market and the futures market. We're going to be going over the review of today's winners and losers for today's video. We're going to go over what I'm planning on getting into and what I plan on getting out of. For this stock market on today, we had a huge drop, but with no further ado, let's get into it. The stock market is broadly pulling back as investors process a sharp tech sector sell-off and rising geopolitical tensions. The Nasdaq Composite is leading the decline, shedding over 1%, while chip makers falter amid hardware rotation. Meanwhile, oil prices have spiked following fresh vessel attacks near the Strait of Hormuz. Oh man, the war is not over. Okay, we got the Nasdaq down 1.1%, S&P down 0.5. I think it ended down more than that too, also going into the day. Right. Sector in corporate highlights, sector slump. Chip stocks are expecting a rough session. Micron Technology and Intel are seeing steep drops, while Sandex is down over 8%, following a weaker sector outlook. SpaceX stock is trending downwards about 5% ahead of its highly anticipated inclusion in the NASDAQ 100, though major brokerages remain broadly bullish. Now, I'm bullish now on SpaceX too. I'm genuinely definitely bullish on SpaceX due to the fact that now I think the hype is over. All the people that bought the IPO probably sold and they got pushed out of position because they was chasing hype, right? So I think now is definitely a good time to buy SpaceX. Only thing I'll take into consideration is that I'll generally wait for the earnings to come out, right? So what else we got? Geopolitical commodities. Oils has jumped nearly 5% over $71 per barrel as regional tensions flare up in the Strait of Hormuz. Labor market. The labor market is still digesting last week non-farm payrolls report with jobs gains showing with job gains slowing. Sorry, but the unemployment rate dipping. Many analysts characterize the labor economy as gold locks, global locks environment stable, not too hot or too cold. I honestly don't care about the labor market jobs report. I honestly think all that be fake news and it's just manipulation, in my humble opinion. Right now, oh snap, going to stock market insights for today. Obviously, we got the top winners and losers. Here you go, right here. And biggest driving themes for the market today is semiconductor. Samsung earnings weighed on memory chip stocks like Micron, healthcare stronger. Eli Lilly and Johnson attracted the defensive buying. Crude prices climb on geopolitical concerns. Fed focus. Investors are waiting for tomorrow's Federal Reserve meeting minutes for clues on interest rates. Now, I'm going to love to see that. For the interest rates, I definitely plan on trading the PM session tomorrow. Hopefully, I get a good clean setup because Monday and Tuesday, I ain't really see no good clean setups. So, hopefully, tomorrow PM session will give the market some manipulation to play off of, and we get out of this freaking consolidation that we've been in on the daily chart, right? Biggest news involving mega cap stocks. Nvidia traded lower as semiconductor trade-offs, sell-offs, permanently earnings sparked. Right? This all happened with the major tech companies. But I want to get into one specifically highlighting Meta. Now, Meta has some good news that came out today. Meta remained one of the most talked about names today. Reports suggest Meta is exploring offering AI computing capacity as a cloud service, which fueled concerns that the industry may eventually build more AI infrastructure than it immediately needs. Meta is still expected to spend aggressively on AI this year. Now, that is good because AI is the future. We're going to consider investing heavy into AI. I'm going to go over today's biggest winners, the tickers for them. And yeah, man. So people won't, especially me, because I used to see something up so much, then I'll just hurry up and buy it just based off of news. Learn my lesson from that once I realized I learned how to do technicals, right? So we're going to get into the first one, which is Eli Lilly. right, was a huge winner today. Now, Eli Lilly is at all-time highs. Where would I consider having an entry for it is if it comes down to this 1173.93. Take out these sell stops right here. Then let's see if we go higher. But we did create this daily volume imbalance. So I want to see what we do within that. But Eli Lilly is at all-time highs. I don't really consider doing anything for it right now. Next one would be Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson's at all-time highs too. So it's like, do I really want to do something? No, I'm not going to chase this. I buy in a discount, sell in a premium. Next up is we're going to go Apple. Now, Apple, I see Apple going to this 317.40. We did have a red day today. It's cool, though. It's expected. If we come back here, if we come back to this 307, right? But we might just go up. We might just have this little red day right here and then go up. If we come back to this 307, I definitely see it going to 317.40, or it might just rock it up and run without me. Let me see. Yeah, it didn't do it in the pre-market yet. But yeah, that's where I see Meta. I mean not Meta. Apple going up to. Looking at Microsoft. Microsoft, it was up today. It was one of the big winners for today. But it was like, it's one of those things where it is what it is. It had a big update because why? It had a volume imbalance. It gapped up higher over the pre-market session, right? We gapped up. Now, for me to turn definitely bullish on Microsoft, I need to see a close above the price of 416.17. Yes, it had a good week last week, but overall, I'm still staying bearish on Microsoft until we have a close above 416.17. Yeah, I do see it going higher. Yes, it's a good long-term company to hold. And these relative equal highs up here do look attractive, but we got to deal with today's problem. And today's problem is if we want to get a close above 416.17 or not. Now, with that being said, we're going to get into the biggest losers for today. One of the biggest losers was Tesla. Tesla. I definitely see Tesla coming down to 368.60 if it doesn't have no geopolitical news, right? But Tesla, we are holding this daily, right? Like this daily fair value gap right here. Oh no, it's a suspension block actually. So I see if we get a close below 379.71, it could definitely go to this 368. But we're just holding this right here, this to 379.71 to 421.46. We're just holding this for right now. But if we want to have a candle close below it, it could go down here to 368.60. And that's what I would like to see. But we're going to speak on one of the things that I'm watching for this consumer discretionary sector in general. If you don't know, this is what Tesla stuff is a part of. This is one of the winning stocks. This sector has been moving sideways, has a lot of chop in general. Just take that into consideration. But this company I like is Home Depot. Now, why do I like Home Depot? Home Depot came down. We took out all of these sales stops right here. Boom. After taking out all of these sales stops on Home Depot, what happens? I like this. I like this very, very much. Home Depot, after taking all them sales stops, we get a candle close above this weekly suspension block right here. Okay. We got this weekly suspension block, and let's say above the price of 333.04. We got a candle close above that. Then we created a buy sign to balance, sell sign efficiency right here on the weekly chart, which is the price of 345.21. We tap back into here. I think Home Depot has room up to this 392.05. And we have good relative equal highs up here on Home Depot. I definitely think based off these relative equal highs, if nothing bad happens, I see it going up here definitely up to that 420.45 to 418.06. I'm liking Home Depot, but I got to take into consideration that the sector in general is consolidating. And yeah. So with that being said, if I'm wrong about Home Depot, where will be a stop loss for me? A stop loss will be the 308.88. Now, if Home Depot gets right there, I'll be like, yeah, I don't want no parts of it, and I was wrong about my analysis. But with that being said, I think Home Depot runs to those relative equal highs. And first, I see it stopping at 392.05. let's get into another loser for today, and that loser is MU. Yes, MU is down pretty bad. Pretty bad, but it's been one of the leading tech companies for this year. No cap. So look, when they be like, "Oh, AI is too much money is getting spent on AI," it is what it is, bro. I don't care. This MU company is one of the heavy memory companies, and I see it definitely being a part of the AI infrastructure. So with that being said, when it goes down like this is an opportunity to buy this asset at a discount. And I say it now, right? If the stock market wants to come down even more, I'm definitely going to be buying in MU within the 751 to 820. I definitely see it coming down to this 854.35. If the stock market wants to continue lower and it wants to keep coming down, I definitely see it coming down to that 854, having a stop right there, 0.35, taking out them sell stops. Then we have this weekly volume imbalance, right? That would be a 34% drop coming down to the price of 820.50. I would love to buy some shares right there. But if it gets to a 40% drop, which I would love, that 750.88, I'm buying shares of it. And I was hearing it was a talks of a stock split. Imagine I buy it right here before the stock split. Then the stock split, sheesh. So that's a big one for MU. Now, last but not least, the company that I am watching and I definitely have ownership of, and it has been on a in discount prices this whole year. Now, this company, last but not least, is Meta for the day. Meta was one of the top companies that I am watching. It has some good news that came out on it. Everybody's been saying they've been spending too much money on AI. Same thing with Oracle, but Oracle, I don't like Oracle right now, okay? I genuinely don't like Oracle right now, but Meta, I do like it, okay? If you be on Instagram, everybody be spending all this money on ads and stuff. Meta is one of them companies that I genuinely, like and own as an asset. So of course I want to see it go up. But I have to be realistic with myself for right now, right? So getting into the Meta chart. Looking at this Meta chart, on this week is going to say a lot to me. Now, yes, we had a candle close above it for today, but I want to see it stay above this 615.40. Now, if we do that, I see it going to 642, and then after that, I see it going to 690.88. So after we get above there, I want to see what we do above here. We got these highs also up here, and then we got ultimately these relative equal highs, which is all-time high on Meta. And before the year is out, if nothing geopolitical bad happens, I personally want to see Meta go up to these relative equal highs. I do own it as an asset in my portfolio. So with that being said, man, I want to see Meta go up. And those are all of the companies I got on my list for today. Let's go over QQQ real quick. I just want to show you the Qs in Q. Well, reason why I want to show you the Qs is because people are saying this and that about the market is being down. It's time for the stock market to crash, right? But overall, looking at the NASDAQ 100, this is the futures, but it's the same thing as the index. They move similarly. But I like looking at the futures market because I am a futures trader. This market, we still are consolidating. Now, what I can say, we're going to be done consolidating. If we get a candle close below this 25850, I say boom, I think the market's going to start expanding. Or if we get a candle close above 3926, I think generally the market's going to make new all-time highs and start expanding from there. So we obviously see that we're stuck between these two gaps on the NASDAQ 100. Can it come down and do what it do? Yes, but would I be trading it and putting my money into the market when it's like this? No. When it comes to day trades, swing trades, I personally like to get in when the market is expanding, not having this sideways movement. And when it has this sideways movement like that, it makes setups low probability. So with that being said, I love to be in an expanding market, and the market is not expanding right now. And that is my overview for the market. Hope y'all have a blessed one. Shalom, man. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Same time, same place.